Welcome to the Jill on Money Show. It's Thursday, September 12th, and we are here trying to help you make better financial and life decisions, meaning that oftentimes you make big decisions in your life, and maybe you're not fully considering the impact on your finances. If that is you, then we would love to get you on the air with us. All you need to do is go to jillonmoney.com, click the Contact Us button, and you can write us a note and check that box that says, hey, I want to come on the air with you, Jill, and you, Mark. And once we get you on the air, who knows where the conversation will lead. Sometimes you call and you ask us about one thing and we're in a different thing. So just give us a shout. We're really happy to help you out. While you're on the website, a couple of things to point out. Number one, we've got a free weekly newsletter, comes out every Friday, and I love that newsletter. Mark does a great job with that. The second thing is that we have our next webinar, and it is coming up on September 24th. So just 12 days away, and we are doing a hyper focus on the real estate market. I think we are a real estate market that is waiting for some direction, and it's been kind of frozen in the last couple of years. So if you are a member of Jill on Money Live, that is our subscription service. If you have paid that whopping $35 to get 4 webinars that are live, the back catalog of those webinars, as well as video content. If that's you and you are already a member, you're all set for September 24th. If not, join us because it's going to be really cool. We're going to have a mortgage broker. We're going to have a realtor. Mark will be there and I will be there. Very excited for this one. I really am. All right. Today, right now, we are going to turn to some emails. Let's start with one from D. I am in my early 60s with about $1.5 million in assets. Do you think putting $250,000 in a taxable muni 12-plus year bond ladder is a good idea at this point? I'm taking a sabbatical, and so the taxable bonds were recommended over tax-free. Well, yeah, absolutely. If you are in a low tax bracket, even if you're in a high tax bracket, you really need to check out the tax equivalent rate of return when you're weighing whether you're going to go for a muni versus a taxable bond. So that's number one. Okay, number two. What else is going on in this portfolio? You said $250,000 as part of $1.5 million, but is everything else a stock investment or in a stock mutual fund or a stock index fund? I mean, actually, you would only be having about 16, 17% of that money in a taxable muni bond ladder, which seems pretty reasonable to me. But I'd love to know what else is going on, Dee, and what your plans are in the future, because I think that could also potentially make a difference in your life. Another question that I would ask is, if you've got a lot of tax deferred money, would it be worth your while to do some Roth conversions when you're taking the sabbatical? That's another thing. Maybe we'd want to pull some of this money aside and pay the tax that's due this year while you're in a lower tax bracket. In any event, I think that a taxable muni bond ladder could make sense for you. Love to know what else is going on. This next question is from Ruth in Michigan, who writes, the good news is my daughter has pension options. Is there such thing as a bad pension? Well, you know what? There could be a bad pension, the kind that isn't funded. That's not a good one. Okay, so here's the question from Ruth. Is it better to put more money into her 403B and 457 plans? I would appreciate learning what the differences are between a 403B and a 457 account. We need some education on what these options mean. Okay, both a 403B and a 457 are retirement plans for people who work in big public service or government jobs. Like a 401k, these plans allow you to put money away either pre-tax or post-tax, so it's either a traditional or a Roth option, and you can put up to $23,000 into the plan, an extra $7,500 if you are over the age of 50. Now, there are some slight differences to these plans to a 401k in that they have special provisions for making additional contributions on top of the basic contributions. So pay attention here. With a 457, you can make an additional contribution up to a grand total of $46,000 this year if you are within 3 years of your normal retirement age. With a 403B, you could contribute an extra $3,000 per year, but it requires that you have a tenure of 15 years and have contributed an average of $5,000 or less per year during that time. Some of these plans have matching contributions, some of them do not. So here's the deal. One other thing that is possible is that the plans could have different rules around taking a loan. I believe that a 403B allows for a loan, but a 457 does not allow for a loan. The long-term effect of all of this is that you can put a ton of money into retirement if you work at one of the organizations that offers both a 403B and a 457. But let's find out a little bit more about Ruth's daughter, who is, she writes, 31 years old, and she has a PhD in the sciences, and her job will pay about $75,000 annually. She is a passive investor. She's a saver, not a spender. She has been living on a $24,000 stipend for the last 7 years in grad school. She has no student loan debt. She's got a car that's paid for. She's got about $11,000 in a Roth IRA. She will be living alone. Rent is $1,000 a month plus her electric. And she has about 10 grand in savings and checking. In her case, the college is giving her two options. She has to choose one and then cannot change it going forward. So she would have TIAA, which I believe is a 403B. She would contribute 4%. The college would contribute 14%. She can also invest additional money in a 457 plan. Also, she has this other option, is that she can go with the Michigan Office of Retirement Services, which is a pension plan. Okay, here's what I think. I think that for right now, it is very difficult for us to understand whether or not your daughter at age 31 is going to spend her career at this one organization. It's really hard to choose. So what I would say is, I think that TIAA sounds perfectly reasonable. She could always bump up her contributions later into her 457. And also she can put more money into savings, and she can actually, while she's still young, certainly be using a brokerage account because maybe she'll want to buy something or do something else with her money. So I think TIAA, also I would make sure that she keeps on this in terms of thinking about these different kinds of plans if she were to go to a different university as well. So just keep that in mind. Okay. This is from Gene, who's 81 years old. He's still working. He's not working 40 hours a week, but he says, I am on call for 40 hours and I do put in about 25 hours of actual work. I'm in sales and I've got a select group of customers from which I receive a commission of about $80,000 a year. Gene's 81. He's making 80 grand a year. Gotta love this. Plus a small salary of $25,000 a year. It's unbelievable. He also gets money from Social Security. He has an old pension and an annuity distribution. So all of that together, just to give you an idea, gang, $3,500 in Social Security, $1,200 in pension, and another 10 grand a year in the annuity distribution. He's debt free. He owns his home. It's valued at $500,000. He says it's a 5-bedroom home. He lives alone. I have $61,000 in a short-term money market account, 15 grand in a checking account, $8,000 in a brokerage account, $15,000 in a credit union checking account, and about $150,000 in a 401k, and $130,000 in the annuity account. Monthly expenses run about $5,000. I have and will continue to gift to my grandchildren. I've got 8 of them. Wow. And the gifts are totaling about 20 grand a year. Recently, one of my children whose business has slowed asked me for $50,000 to pay off his high interest credit card debt. I'm inclined to do this to help him out. I've thought about retiring, but my job isn't very stressful, and I still have not accumulated a net worth of $1 million. Yes, you have. Think about that pension. My God, all this money is like real money. I don't know. You don't need to have $1 million. Health is reasonably good. And he says, I still participate in state and national competitive softball and basketball activities. Oh, my God. I recently redid my estate planning. I put everything into a trust. I'm just seeking advice on what I should do. Look, you've got a lot of kids, and I think it's fine to provide a loan to this son. But what I would do is I would talk to the attorney who drafted your estate documents, and I would have them actually draft a note, a promissory note. You're lending the kid $50,000 and that you expect interest to be paid, or the amount to be paid, or that the amount that he would receive from your estate would be reduced by that $50,000. Talk to the attorney, see what the best bet is, and go from there. Okay, this is from Elliot, who says, Many times you suggest putting money into a brokerage account rather than a Roth, even for people who are of the age they can take from the Roth without penalty and also have held the Roth for over 5 years. You did it again recently on a show about retiring over age 70. Why pay the taxes in a brokerage account? What's the downside to putting the money in the Roth instead? I don't know. It's not that there's a real... I probably should do a better job of that. You're right, Elliot. I just always think that it's good to have some money that you can easily access without having to file any paperwork, and that it is true that you can take money from a Roth, but often it's not huge money. And it's sort of the same idea that not every single dollar has to be so efficiently invested. But I see your point, and I'll pay better attention to that, to put money into the Roth and knowing that you can take it out, take the money that you put in without any penalty. This is from Amanda, who writes, on a recent episode of the pod, you mentioned a lemon cucumber. Fun fact, these were grown at the South Pole in their greenhouse this year. I don't know if they were more or less productive than the other cucumber options in the small greenhouse, but I do know the pops of cucumber in our salad, all grown on station, were very nice. Oh my God, is she listening to us in the South Pole? This is the most amazing thing. Thank you, Amanda. I appreciate that. Lemon cucumber. I never heard of such a thing, and it was quite lovely. All right, that is it. That is the program. Thank you so much for listening. If you've got a question, just go to our website, JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, and of course, let us know if you would like to join us on the air live. Don't forget to sign up for the free weekly newsletter. You can subscribe to us on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. Do me a favor. Put your hands metaphorically on someone's back. Change your work, change your wealth, change your life. Thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.